Oh, sorry, Valen. Didn't have my glasses on. John Valen, not here. Is David Chen here? He is here.
Forgive my weak voice. I caught a cold from all these mayor debates, mayoral candidate debates, sorry. Your worship, honored council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm David Chen, as you know, certified financial planner, former Strathcona PAC chair. I recently had to resign out of conflict of interest to be running in the mayoral candidate campaign. And I am the mayoral candidate for the ProVancouver elected organization. Let me clear the air. I'm not wealthy. I'm actually underemployed right now because in order to run, I had to surrender my investment trade license. That's why I have the ability to come here today. I'm also a renter in Strathcona, and I currently occupy the very unit that Sadhu Johnson used to live in, and I still get his mail. I do oppose this motion because Patrick Condon, who, as many of you know, was going to be a mayoral candidate, he's the founder of the UBC Urban Design Program, and Scott Hine have said, we need a full community plan. And as Mr. Bremner keeps reiterating at every debate we go to, the last plan we had was in 1929. And if he confirms that, what right do we have to move forward in changing the face of Vancouver without a plan? Patrick Condon today in an article said, you are putting the they're putting the cart in front of the horse. You need to reverse this thinking. Does it make any sense to upzone without any coordinated plan on infrastructure needed to support this higher density? I met with a business group today, and they actually told me about this very thing happening in Bogota. And they said what happened was it was a disaster afterwards, because what they did is they provided the housing, but they never thought about how to support the people. Bogota right now is a transit nightmare. So let's think more. Does it make sense to increase density without a plan to raise the money from CACs and DCLs to provide that amenity, that infrastructure that's required to support this density? This is something that map views of zoning don't show properly when you look at streets that are queued. They are not designed for this density. We've already heard this. You know this is a concern that pops up all the time. What's going to be happening with parking? Not everybody is a bike user. Not everybody is a transit user. And it's not because they're jerks and trying to use, fuel-powered vehicles. There are some realities. There are some very large families. My own family, we have permanent disabilities. We don't have the option all the time to use transit, to use bicycles. If your goal is increased affordability, Elizabeth Murphy wrote an article suggesting that speculation increased in areas that were upzoned. Tom Davidoff in 2007, and I finally found his paper, said that if you build every building to 100 stories high, the affordability only improves 15%. That is a very, very small improvement for a dramatic change in your city. Dividing land to make it seem affordable is no different than a stock split. In my world, when a stock is appreciated so high, nobody wants to buy it. They break it up into chunks, and then people think it's affordable. But this is an example that's been used before. If we have a $10 chocolate bar, and each of you has $2, you will now bid on each piece if I chop it up into tenths, and you'll push that price to $2 a chunk, which means if we add it all back up, that chocolate bar is now $20. It's not more affordable, it's less. You're confusing people. You're convincing them of a narrative that doesn't really exist. This is a tactic that's used commonly, and this works the same way for real property. Where was the comprehensive community consult? Where was the sufficient notice? Lots of people complain about this. People are not here because they're complacent. They don't care. I've talked to people. They had no clue this was actually going on. When I talked to them, and suddenly they realized, they're now part of your lineup out there. That indicates there's been a failure in the consultation process. Also, another confusing thing that I've heard repeatedly, where is the plain language? All of this is technical talk. It is confusing. As my job as a financial planner, we have to simplify the language so that the client understands. You cannot have citizens properly engaging this if they don't understand the lingo. So what I'm asking for is to stop the rezoning until this proper community plan can be made. I'm saying that if you do this without that community consult, this becomes an irresponsible action. Thank you.
Thank you, and good timing. You don't have any questions, but thanks.